Okay, let's analyse. I was kind of waiting for another interview because those are my favourite things to analyse with Trump, right? It's when I'm actually seeing and hearing him saying it rather than, oh, he said this or somebody said that, like Carolyn Levitt, whoever, right? I spoke to the president and he said, blah, blah. No, I need to see it like out of his mouth. I need to see his facial expressions. I need to see like the tone of voice that he uses and the specific words that he chooses, especially when he's put on the spot. And here we have exactly that. So I'm sure you guys have seen it, okay? He went on ABC with Terry Moran for an interview for his first 100 days and, you know, generic interview of asking lots of questions. But what was so interesting was the fact that he was being interviewed by someone who, from ABC, you know, from a news outlet that he's had stuff to say about, specifically what they're doing is illegal or something, or, you know, obviously, you know, he doesn't like the fact that they don't say good things about him all of the time, like other state news propaganda like Fox, in my personal opinion. So it's really interesting to see him in a position where he's not surrounded by yes men. Another thing that I was pointing out to my mum as well was the fact that even sometimes when he is being questioned by like MSNBC or ABC or CNN, etc., a lot of the times when you see it, they're in like a press pool, right? There's lots of them and they only have a moment to ask their question, and maybe they can, yeah, but what about blah, blah, blah? And he can sort of shrug it off or do his Trumpy weaving intellectual equivalent of running away and then turn his attention and say, next question, please. But this is an instance where there's only one reporter. He doesn't have that opportunity to shrug it off and move to the next and, you know, just get away with it, I suppose. So it was really interesting watching him kind of squirm in his unique Trump kind of way. He doesn't squirm, I would say, like, obviously, like other people do. And another point I do want to make before I get into this. Okay, so it was about a week ago or something. I was on Reddit just hanging around as I do, and somebody had posted the picture of Kilmar Abrego Garcia's knuckle tattoos with the MS-13 written above it to translate the tattoos underneath. I saw that and I remember I wrote a comment on Reddit saying, please, for the love of God, somebody tell me they are not making it out as if the letters MS-13 are actually tattoos. Somebody please just reply to this comment and let me know that they are not making it out like that, right? And so I read a couple of articles. People were really cool. They sent me articles and I read, and it seemed like everyone was making it out as, okay, we all know that the tattoos are the tattoos, but the MS-13 is just something that they have added on to decipher, in their opinion, decipher the tattoos, right? And so we left it at that. I don't agree with anything that's going on, but at least we're not living in a reality where they're trying to make out that these Photoshop letters are real tattoos. Hey presto, a week later, literally last night, I was getting ready to go to bed and I'm just switching on my YouTube to watch my Red Letter Media like I normally do, and up comes, I can't remember what it was that I saw, because I don't think I would have clicked. Usually later on at night I'll just leave it and I'm like, okay, just don't go read or look at anything before you go to bed. It's probably not the best thing for you to do. You know, just trying not to over-consume too much, you know what I mean? But something must have caught my attention with the Photoshop thing. I must have seen the word Photoshop, because that's what made me want to go and see and be like, hold on a minute. No, I already just dealt with this a week ago. Not like I dealt with it and the world dealt with it, but no. No, this cannot be happening. Tell me he does not think that those letters are Photoshopped.
And then they looked, and on his knuckles, he had MS-13.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattooed.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
Terry. Stop, hold it right there. Like, he literally, oh my gosh, did nobody tell him? This is my question, right? This is my question. Who did not tell him that that was Photoshop? Did they not know that he thought that was real until this moment, and that's why they didn't tell him it was Photoshop? Was it just this unspoken thing that he was just holding up the picture thinking that that was the actual tattoos, and they thought, well, there's no way he could possibly think that's the tattoos, so obviously we're not going to say anything. And then he has this interview, and now they're like, wait, whoa, what? He thought those were real. Who didn't tell him they were real? I didn't think I had to tell him they were real. I didn't think I had to tell him they weren't real, because who would think that they were real? Surely, did you tell him, Stephen? No, I didn't tell him, because nobody thought it was. And then, furthermore to that, what if they did know? What if they did know that he thought that it was real and they didn't say anything? I have so many questions. But then it's the way he's like, Terry, hold on, let's go. Do it again.
There's a dispute
Well,
over that.
wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattoo.
Oh, he had...
Hear the tone of his voice. Wait a minute. He had MS-13. Like, he literally is believing the words that he's saying. That's not Trump in a position where he's lying. We most of us, know what that sounds like. We know what that sounds like. We know the kinds of words that he uses, the kind of way that he frames things when he's trying to lie. This is him saying, wait a minute. He literally had it on his... Like, he's stressing the words because this is him actually not feeling like he's lying, not thinking that he's lying. He thinks he's telling the truth.
Wait a minute. He had MS-13 on his knuckles tattoo.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
And then Terry comes in and he's like, yeah, okay, he had MS-13. Terry's kind of trying to give him a way out of it almost. And saying, okay, yes, he did have some tattoos that can be interpreted as MS-13. I see what you're saying there. You mean that the tattoos of the what was it, marijuana, smiley face, cross and skull, which I have seen a few tattoo artists comment saying that it means smoke until you're high and love God until you die, which kind of makes a little bit more sense. But whatever, like that's Terry trying to give him a way out of it and saying, okay, yeah, the skull and the smiley face and the this and the that can be interpreted as MS-13. Let's move on or whatever. And he still is like, no, I'm not talking about the symbols. I'm literally talking about the letters.
Terry.
He did not have the letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
Yeah, that was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop, Terry.
And then here comes in the information of that was Photoshop. Now, he clearly knows what Photoshop is because he steps in to defend that was Photoshop. Don't do that, Terry. Don't do that. Right? He clearly understands that Photoshop is a thing that people use to make something look like it's not the thing that it is or something.
Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice.
Okay, we're going to do that not very nice bit in a second, okay? We all know what that is. He does it all the time, okay? Yeah, but we're just going to come... The way he's saying his name so many times, like, this is something that, you know, people do very often, and I would love to know if he was specifically taught that or if it's just something that he picked up in the business world. Using people's names a lot gives them a sense of familiarity. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know you well enough to use your name a lot and stuff, so you can respect what I'm saying, or at least that I feel like I'm comfortable enough in a position to use your name with you, so I trust what I'm saying, little things like that. But I think more so for Trump, it's authority, isn't it? It's a sense of bringing control back to himself. He seems to be using his name a lot to, like, stop him, sort of. Terry. Like, almost like, stop. Terry, look, be real with me. I'm using your name here. I've got a level of familiarity. Let's be real with each other. Because in this instance, he really does seem like he believes what he's saying. I do not think this is a situation where he is trying to say it enough to make people believe that it's Photoshop. He thinks it's not Photoshop. And then we have, you're not being very nice. It's almost as if he believes that it's such a privilege for him to have given the interview all the time to ABC and Terry Moran and stuff like that or whatever. Like, I didn't come on here to be attacked. I didn't come on here for you to question everything that I've said or everything that I'm saying. Like, you should just be excessively grateful. It's almost like I wonder if he's like a little bit confused as to why isn't he sort of groveling? Why hasn't he got stars in it? Why hasn't Terry got stars in his eyes? Why isn't Terry just sort of, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I'm finally here with Donald Trump, our president, and this, that, and everything else. And he seems to feel like maybe, like, if he walks into a room, he can, his presence, his persona, his charm, his whatever it is that he thinks he's got will just, like, sort of addle everyone's mind, will make everyone wear rose-tinted glasses when they look at him. And he seems to get, like, offended, genuinely sometimes offended and confused when people don't put on those rose-tinted glasses. I suppose that comes from being surrounded by yes men, surrounded by lackeys, bootlickers, ass kissers, ring lickers.
He had MS-13 tattooed.
We'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
And you think it
agree
was
to disagree.
Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He
Fair
had
enough.
MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them. I want to turn to Ukraine,
No,
sir.
Terry,
I want to get to
Terry,
Ukraine.
No.
I can't believe I dealt with this last week. It literally was like, there's no way on planet Earth he thinks that it's Photoshop. And even if he did, because I'll give it to him, he is old and not of the digitalness, apart from Troth Central and stuff.
Troth Central.
I get it. Maybe he might not know that it was Photoshop at first. But surely somebody told him. Surely somebody said something. Why didn't they say something? Did they? Oh, the only thing I can think of is that they just didn't know that he thought it was not Photoshop. Because my thing is, right, you got the people around him. They're going to want him to be portrayed in the best light possible, right? They're not going to risk him seeming stupid or gullible for thinking that Photoshop picture is actually a real picture. They would want to protect him from that. Surely, right? Even if we don't agree with them or we wouldn't do it ourselves. Surely that's what they're going to do, right? Am I correct? Yeah? So my only conclusion can be is that they just didn't know he thought it was real. Because the other conclusion is that they did know and they still didn't tell him, right? Which then brings into question, if they did know that he thought it was real, how many people knew that he thought it was real? Because if it's one person and that one person decides, yeah, I'm going to carry on letting him think it's real, why did they do that? But then why would it just be one person? Would he not talk about it to more than one person? He's not just going to speak to one person, like pull him off to the side and say, oh yeah, that real photo. Like, he would speak about it. He speaks about everything all of the time. That's just the only conclusion I can come to. They must not have known until they saw this interview themselves that he thought that photo was real. Let's have a look at it together, Mr. Trump. Now, I can see how, as a slightly older generational person, that you might look at that photo and for a moment think, yeah, okay, that looks real. Maybe you're not aware of Photoshop in the sort of front of your mind. Whereas the rest of us, we're very much like, hey, is that real? Let's question everything, Is it AI? So let's just give it to him that at first instance, yeah, okay, you think that's real. Aside from the part where, didn't you say anything and then somebody didn't say something back to you? Did somebody not hand you the piece of paper and explain to you that that's what's going on? They might have, and he might have just, like, he literally lives in his own world. I get it. I'm younger, so I get it. To me, it's so obvious. But still, I look at this picture, and you see how it says MS13 on his knuckles, right? Literally, look at the font. And then look at the font of the writing that is above, where it says, Pioma Abrego Garcia, MS13. Tattoo. It literally is the same font that is written. Who in their right mind is having a tattoo in like Arial font or Calibri font, whichever one this is? Like, who's getting a Microsoft font, right? Unless it's for some kitschy novelty thing or some specific personal reason or whatever. Can you not look at those letters and then just look, like, literally 2 inches above to see that it's the same font? Quite apart from the fact that, yes, obviously the rest of us can tell, the misalignment of the letters, the fact that they're so 2D and, like, single-planed, they're not, like, molded to his knuckles like his other ones are. The fact that they're, like, jet black, and literally, tattoos are not jet black. It's great. Look, even this one is my fake one, look. And it's fading, and it's still got this bluey thing and stuff. Like, he does not... Oh, maybe he doesn't know that. He's not really from a world of tattoos, is he? Yeah. Again, I'm not, like, making excuses, you guys. I just love to analyse Trump. What and why? And why? I just want to finish off this tattoo thing. There's other things that he spoke about in this interview that I do want to have a look at as well. Again, especially the way that he dodges questions and stuff and his intellectual, hey, look over there. and he runs away. But this one is the big one, just specifically, I mean, obviously for everyone and stuff, but literally, specifically for me, just because was confounded last week, resolved the issue for myself, and now it turns out he believed it the whole time. I should have just gone with it. I should have just broke the story myself. Okay.
He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe the news, because
when
it's
he was
fake
photographed
news.
in El Salvador, they aren't there. But let's just go on. They aren't there when he's in El Salvador.
They weren't there, but they're there now, right?
No,
but they're there
in
now.
your picture.
Terry.
Ukraine, sir.
He's got MS-13 on his knuckles.
All right.
Yeah, Terry's trying to... I feel like Terry did his job here, by the way. Like, across the board for the interview, yes, but specifically in this bit as well. Like, he literally had done his job and he's like, okay, let's move on. He literally kind of broke it. He kind of broke the... not story, but he revealed to us the fact that this entire, what is it, a week, 2 weeks since that he held that picture up in the White House, he's literally thought it's been real this entire time. And he's like, you know, this interview is revealed, so props to Terry and stuff or whatever, but it's the way that he's like, okay, I want to move on to the next, because I literally got what I needed to out of that. We have just revealed that you think that photo is freaking real. Let's move on to the next topic, you know. But Trump keeps dragging this one back, right? Again, normally he would be doing the intellectual running away. Normally he would be like, we did this, we did that, yes but, lie, make it the truth, just distract or discard or whatever, and let's move on to the next, right? This is just one of those rare instances where he's like pulling it back, because he's like, no. This is not even a situation where I feel the need, like I need to be lying. That's why I'm kind of dragging it back. Normally, it would be like maintain the lie and run away as fast as I can. And now it's like, no, for once in my life, I'm actually telling the truth. You are going to believe me. He has MS-13 on his knuckles. It's a different kind of response, isn't it? It's a different kind of response from him.
He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted. This is why people no longer believe.
Well,
if anybody was watching this or watching this, and you were still in the thing of, yeah, well, maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he does mean the thing. Just word for word, listen to what he just said. No.
He had MS, as clear as you can be, not interpreted.
As clear as you, I think he was about to say, as clear as I can see you, or as clear as you could see, as clear as you could see anything else, is essentially what he's saying. He had MS-13 on his knuckles, as clear, I could see it as clear as I can see you sat in front of me, not interpreted. That is the confirmation. The final confirmation. Let's put the jokes aside for a second. I just want to talk about how dangerous it is to have somebody in a position like that who is going to fall for those kinds of things, even when somebody's not trying to make them fall for it. Like, nobody, as far as we can ascertain, nobody did that on purpose to make him look stupid. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they would want to make him look good, right? But I can't imagine somebody just handed it to him and said, these are his tattoos. Did they give him too much benefit of the doubt? Did they, account for too much for his intelligence or something? I don't know. His critical thinking, his awareness. And it's just, I don't know, it's really dangerous to have that kind of... It's the generation, or is it boomers and X's and stuff? Like the Facebook guys who don't really know how to use the internet properly, so they literally just believe everything that they see, right? In this instance, they weren't trying to trick him, but he's just put it on full display for the entirety of the world, including his adversaries and stuff, that he will fall for anything. They didn't even try and he still fell for it. Imagine somebody just hiring somebody for 30 quid to actually make it look like he got MS-13 on his knuckles. That's like something that's relatively easy and would take, a professional less than half an hour or something ridiculous. And now he's just put on full display to the world that he's that gullible. You can just AI mock up something, put it on social media, Twitter, Truth Central. I think those are the only two he really uses. So now, what else does he genuinely believe about the lies of, this, that, and everything else? And I think a really good tell is how much he pulls back on the question, like, no, I want to stick with this point because I know I'm telling the truth here, or how much he tries to project, deflect, and intellectually run away from it, right? If he's doing any one of those things, he's trying to lie. He's trying to place the lie, say the lie, just keep on, and as quickly as he can, run away from the question, or deter from the question, right? But when he's telling the truth, he keeps pulling it back, and he's like, no, I want to stick with this topic. I want to keep on talking about it and hammering away at the fact that no, that's not the case. No, that's not the case. This and this and the thing is, he's trying to give information. Unlike when he's lying and he's just saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, he's giving information here, and he's like being quite specific with it as well. No, he had specifically this on his knuckles. Do you want to see the picture? I will show you the picture. Go and look at his hand, blah, 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 which we can't because he's not here right now. And obviously would like to point out, as many people have, obviously there's lots of pictures of him post being in El Salvador, and he does not have MS13, the numbers and letters on his. He has the skull and the smiley face and the cross and the blah blah blah, but he does not have the letters. We all know this because we know what Photoshop is. But this generation live in a world where they will see an AI video of a dancing cat and go, oh, I've never seen a cat do that before. Pay attention, look really closely. Does like Generation X and Boomers not have Uncanny Valley? Do they not have Uncanny Valley? Like, does it not, like, click for them the way that it does maybe for millennials and so on? And, yeah, not all Xers and Boomers and stuff. Do they not have that? Does he look at the AI videos of himself and Netanyahu in Trumpland, Gaza, or whatever it is, and think literally, oh, look at that, that's literally me? Even, oh, shit. He probably does, doesn't he? Again... I'm still rattling around in my brain. Who would let him go on for that long, thinking that they were real? I just honestly, I feel like as he sat here saying this in front of everyone yesterday or whatever it was, that was them finding out too. That was his own administration and whoever made that photo and whoever gave him that photo and whatever. They just really found that out now, because there's no way they would just let him wander around thinking it was real.